What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video party. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because this video we're going to be taking a look at probably one of the most epic stories I've ever seen on screen. The Northman. That may be a bit of a bold statement, but holy crap, after watching this movie, I just want to grow a Viking beard. Oh my god, this movie was so freaking epic that even I wanted to go on a revenge quest to avenge my father. But anyway, oh my god, I need to calm down. This movie came out about a year ago and was directed by Robert Eggers, which immediately put this film on my radar. For those of you who may not know, Robert Eggers is the director behind two of my most recent favorite horror films, The Witch and The Lighthouse. And after watching both of those movies, I just love how he's able to add such a sense of scale to very small settings that were in both of those movies. Now, what I mean by that is when you watch either one of those films, he's able to tell such a grand story in such a small setting where the characters are put in. And when you look at films like The Lighthouse, even though the majority of the movie takes place in one single lighthouse, you feel like the world is expanding as you're watching two guys literally go insane. And when you look at this film, you can see that he is upping up the ante by showing you different lands, different kingdoms, different cultures as you embark on this big journey. So like I said, this movie came out about a year ago and is apparently based on a true story. Well, sort of. What I mean by that is that this story is actually based off an old Norse saga, which, by the way, Norse sagas are Viking revenge stories, so that's a nice little bonus fact. But anyway, this story was actually inspired by an old Norse saga, which would then inspire Shakespeare to write Hamlet, and would then inspire The Lion King. Yeah, you heard me right. At first glance, when you watch the trailer of the movie, it already sets up what the story is going to be about, as you have a young prince destined to rule a kingdom, only to watch his father get murdered by his treacherous uncle before his mom gets enslaved by him too, and he is sent off in exile, only to return to reclaim the throne from his uncle. Yeah, that's pretty much The Lion King. And I love how at the beginning of the film, the story already sets up three distinct goals that our main character, Amlet, has to achieve by the end of the movie. He's got to avenge his father, he's got to kill his uncle, and he's got to save his mother. Hell, this movie even has its own Hakuna Matata moment as we watch this little boy grow up to be a beast of a man. My god, Alexander Skarsgard looks fantastic in this movie, as he's not fully ripped like someone who works out at the gym non-stop every day while having protein shakes. No, he looks lean and mean, like someone whose only workout is to chop trees down in the middle of a forest. And I love how throughout the movie we get to watch him try to achieve his three main goals as he goes on a quest for revenge. And to add even more to the story, Robert Eggers decides to interweave some Norse mythology into Amlet's journey. That just adds more lore to the story, because now I want to go back and watch this movie and learn about some of the different Norse gods and monsters that were referenced in this movie. Also, looking back at it now, this movie is pretty much Elden Ring with Shakespeare writing. That's also another thing that I loved about this movie. It's the dialogue, because I loved hearing how each character was speaking grammatically correct in the time to where the story is set in. And I loved how it's so cryptic and so poetic, while at the same time you do get to hear some hints of Old Norse and Slavic language. So yeah, the dialogue in this movie is pretty damn cool. Now, even though I couldn't get enough of the writing, I do wish that most of the movie was spoken in the native languages. Not that I have anything against the English dialogue, it's just I think the storytelling experience could have been even more compelling had the movie been speaking in Old Norse or Slavic language. But then again, I'm no historian, and maybe Vikings did speak perfect English during this time. Speaking of which, while Alexander Skarsgård takes front and center as Amlet the Bear Wolf, the remaining members of the cast really do step up their game. I mean, we even have Anya Taylor-Joy, who is so beautiful but also very intimidating in this film, while also having Nicole Kidman, Klaus Bang, Ethan Hawke, and even Willem Dafoe. Top marks for getting well-known actors of high caliber, while also avoiding some very trendy actors as well. And what I mean by that is that this movie could have been a whole lot different had the studio hired some popular celebrities. Now, even though I love this movie in every single way, I will admit that it does have its faults. To those who have not seen a Robert Eggers film, it may come as a shock when several weird scenes happen every now and then. Without giving away spoilers, I will say there are several what the hell moments that are almost hypnotic as you watch these illusions play in front of your eyes. Another thing that also may come as a shock is the lack of action. Don't get me wrong, there is plenty of action as you get to watch Omelette hack and slash his way to his treacherous uncle. But the marketing of this movie does not do it justice. Because if you watch the trailer or even look at the poster right here, you would think that this movie would be about armies of Vikings going at each other. And while we do see a fraction of that promise in this movie, the majority of the story is pretty much about one man's journey to kill another man. Which ultimately leads to one thing that may leave a bittersweet taste after watching this movie. It's the ending. Going back to the beginning of the movie, there were 3 set goals that our main character Omelette had to achieve by the end of his journey. Avenge the father, kill the uncle, and save the mother. Now, without going into spoilers, I will say that only 2 of these things get accomplished. But despite our main character not being able to achieve all 3 of his goals, I still liked how the story played out because, hey, that's life. Sometimes you're not going to be able to get everything you want. Even so, the ending is probably one of the most epic sequences I've ever seen on film. It is powerful, it is ferocious, and it is poetic all at once that just makes you want to, hell yeah, let's do this! But anyway, if you're looking for something to watch tonight, I highly recommend you watch this film as the story is so barbaric and so biblical at the same time. If you haven't seen this movie, I encourage you to watch this film as soon as possible. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. That was the overall review for The Northman. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button to see what's updates from this channel. I'll see you next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.